All right, so ladies and gentlemen, it is the ninth day in the month of June 2026, and I hope you are well. I hope say you day all right. I hope say body good. I hope say everywhere day good. I hope say everywhere shake, everywhere they shake. I hope say today on that day weather, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Sports Corner on top Unical Radio 103.5. Your number one station where they can be on top information, education, and entertainment. Yes, so as it be like this, you don't carry matter where concern entertainment and information come your domot like this. Now Sports Corner on top Unical Radio 103.5. Your number one station where they can be on top information, education, and entertainment once again. And I hope say you don't ready because me like this and I don't ready. I'm behind the MIC. Now, Sir Kennedy, and I don't really here alone. I did here with the football crew. I did here with Token of the Catalyst, and Nata. All of us go do this one together. Yes. I see you be like this, Catalyst, welcome to the show.
Yeah, good evening, Kennedy. Good evening, Kennedy. Good evening, our country people. Nata in the studio. Good evening to you. I Choice Salam I give all of it. I'm actually so much excited to be here this beautiful evening, and on today's episode of Sports Corner, make we just check what's in the up for there, and of course, make we do this one together.
Yes, so make we do this one together like this, and also we have Nata in the building. Nata, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Kennedy. Troy Salam I give you. Thank you so much, Catalyst. Troy Salam I give you too. To all our beta listeners out there, Troy Salam I give all of you. How una did this beautiful evening? Yes, as Kennedy don't talk today, na the ninth day for inside the month of June, and if you carry eye check very well, say na just 2 days remain.
Yes,
for
so
the ogbonge one. Make it for show for our screen.
yes.
I dey excited say I don't work out come studio this evening, and I hope say you say I know say you dey excited say we don't carry Sport Corner waka come your domot again. No go anywhere. Dey with us. Make we do this wakama together.
Yes, so no go anywhere where we do this wakama together. Yes, so we don't ready, we don't sell for you, and I also you don't sell for it because I still have it like this. We don't carry all the information where they happen for the world of sports come your domot like this. And yes, the first story we'll get for you right now. The first story we'll get for you right now. Now be say the FCT Capital Territory, where they call the Federal Capital Territory Football Association, they announced 19th as the final deadline for the registration of club participating in the 2025-2026 season of the FCT-FA Division 1 League in Abuja. Yes, so the news agency of the Nigerian report that the secretary of the FCT-FA, where name now Hurana Ikara, said in a statement on Tuesday in Abuja that registration commenced on April 8th, was scheduled to close on May 30th, but has now been extended to June 19th. This is to give clubs adequate time. This is to give clubs adequate time to complete their payment. He said, according to the IRENA, the registration has been fixed for 150,000 for Division 1 clubs and 120,000 for Division 2 clubs. And yes. Also, a lot of things don't they happen for the World Cup. Just as Natada already talked, say we get 2 days to the World Cup, and a lot of things don't they stop. Me, I cannot wait for the World Cup to see the food outcome way they happen for this World Cup. But as it be like this, we have been having a rising concern with what has been happening in the World Cup. And what like to you, I'm trying to notice a little bit of, will I say, monopoly and politics that is going on in the World Cup. Because with the look of things, it was concluded that Iran will attend the World Cup. All of a sudden, US revoked the World Cup ticket for allocation for Iranian supporters, and we are seeing that Iranian Federation of Nigeria, the Iran Football Federation, on Tuesday said the United States have revoked its allocation of tickets for its World Cup gate, accusing the co-host of obstructing the attendance of Iranian supporters under the shadow of a bitter diplomatic rule. And the USA have presented a number of brutalistic hurdles for Iran at the global football spectacle, including refusing to issue visa for some of its support stars, as two countries remain at war after the US and Israel attacked country in late February. So, gentlemen, don't you think that this harsh decision that has been taken on Iran in this World Cup, because let's tell ourselves the truth, Iran being in the World Cup is a national security, and at the same time not a national security. With the kind of security and with the kind of security that is going to be deployed in USA, Canada, and Mexico for the World Cup, you not tell me that we are going to have an attack issued on USA, because the fight is between Israel and Iran, not between, and USA is just there to help Iran fight, make that fight happen. Then now you are seeing that the World Cup is about to start. Iran qualified for the World Cup. How are they going to play the World Cup without their supporters? So to me, I'm noticing some monopoly play here, that USA is controlling too much narrative in this World Cup, in the sense that they have been bringing up rules and regulation back to back. You get what Natabi before going. He said that even one of the countries that have the most strictest rule in the world, which is Qatar, when the World Cup was hosted in Qatar, there was no restriction on alcohol. The restriction will be said that they do during their normal time. There is those restrictions because people from different religion, different style of life, different places are coming to watch the football. Now we are seeing the same thing happening in US. US is a free. They say that it's a no man's country, it's a no man's land. But the restriction on Iran, and yesterday another trending story again came up with the Somalian referee who was denied entry into the US yesterday. Now with no certain reason. So I ask myself, don't you think that this rules and regulation in the World Cup is getting out of hand? So Catalyst, what do you think?
Yeah, actually, first, let me start with the fact that when Nata said we have just 2 days to the World Cup,
yes,
I had to quickly look at my calendar again, and I realized that today is 9, and now once my eye just do boom. I don't know why my eye do boom, but my eye just do boom. But go understand why my eye do boom, but myself I understand. I know why my eye just do boom. So it's simply an awakening call that may I just sit up, say World Cup one almost start in 2 days time. So by now, boys opposite, they prepare themselves ahead of waiting one start.
And investors
so
too.
You no go really understand what
I
they talk.
understand when
So
investors.
going back to what you don't raise up now.
Yes.
I think one of the worst thing, I wouldn't want to say worst thing, but I think one of the disastrous thing that has actually happened to this year's World Cup is having the United States hosting it. Because I feel that might not just say United States hosting it. It's actually not bad, but United States hosting it when we have President Trump as the president. We know this man. We know the kind of person he is. We know his strict restrictions when it comes to migration.
Yes.
And at a time whereby World Cup, it's a tournament that you have everybody coming, every country, both the African country, and yet this same United States that I'm talking about have restrictions for some countries that are not supposed, to get to this to the state.
Yes.
So now, if you are having a World Cup, and meanwhile the country which is to host this World Cup already have placed restrictions to some countries, then what becomes the hope and the future, the hope and the way forward of those countries? Because for sure, whether we like it or yes, we cannot join politics with a football or game of sport.
Are you sure?
Yes, we cannot join because for the fact that whether you place restrictions on some countries, you don't get anything to do with football.
It doesn't have anything to do with football. Sorry for cutting you short, but let me tell you the truth. For many years, permit me to say, we've kind of be like, say, we deceive ourselves with this. Football has nothing to do with politics, but over time, the skills don't fall off my eyes. I've now realized that football has something to do with politics. Like, whether we agree with it or not, football has something to do with politics. Because, come on, for how long have we been hearing this thing? Football has nothing to do with politics. But once we see, say, political tensions on the rise, it go they affect football. Like, why? How? No, but it's happening. So we just have to call it a spade because that's reality.
Now, I think that is the misconception we are trying to correct, and that is what we are trying to to justify here. Now, when I say that football has nothing to do with politics, I'm coming from the perspective that ideally, and from on the normalcy, we are not supposed to join football with politics.
Exactly.
Because when we are doing when we are talking about football, or when we are doing football at first, policy makers, when it has to do with politics, do not come in to interfere. And when it has to do also with policy making about country affairs or state affairs, we don't also see football planners going to interfere. So which means that in as much as we know that in most cases policy makers in football could actually have interest in politics, but they should not make it so obvious and makes it so obvious that it has to obstruct the game of football. So now this goes back to what I was trying to say, that we know that the US have placed restrictions to on some countries. Now, what are the reasons why they place these restrictions? Now, the reasons probably could be due to security threats, could be due to their economic war. But does that has anything to do with football? No. So now, because these restrictions has been placed, it simply means that it's going to affect those persons. It's going to affect those persons going to play this football, because whether we like it or yes, it's a World Cup, and World Cup, just like the name says, it has to do with all the countries that are eligible to participate. So in a situation whereby you've placed a restriction on my country, I'm not supposed to come, how do I participate? So it brings a burden. Now Kennedy raised something, and I think that is actually coming from the situation whereby we already getting report that Iran are actually having issues. Now you ask yourself a questions like, now apart from this Iran, are Israel having the same issue? Are Israel participating in the World Cup? Yes, right.
And they
do not have any issues. But yet the Iran now are having issues. Now is it Iran that are fighting? Is Iran fighting themselves? No. They have issues with Israel. So if you want to come from a fair a fair point or a fair standpoint, now we're supposed to say, okay, if Iran are giving restrictions, Israel are supposed to be given restrictions,
of course,
right? Because these two persons have issues. And when we are talking about security breach, it simply means that because they are having issues, the same security threats that Iran will pose to the US, that means that Israel also can pose the same security threat to the US. And in most cases, it might not even be that these persons or the Iran Israel, because to understand, if we talk say Israel often now party to the US. So now it might not even say that okay, the Israel might be posing security threats to the US, but how about other countries that are coming? Because it's World Cup, other countries are definitely coming. So at the end of the day, it brings lots of issues. So personally, I felt that as of when all this palaver already they start, Israel, Iran, I think they would have looked for ways. Okay, look at just like when Russia and Ukraine were having an issue. What was the way forward about it? I think what they did there, it actually affected both countries, that they could not participate.
Yes,
they could not participate, and that was kind of
their league was shut down.
It was shut down. That was kind of fair. So it was not a situation whereby you are supporting Russia over Ukraine or supporting Ukraine over Russia.
Yes.
So in this situation, anyways, it is World Cup, and it's actually a competition that lots of persons have waited for a very long time. So for me, it's already sad because the FIFA president, and of course the United States president, they did like 5 and 6. So it's more like get what you want to do, and it's so obvious that we have allowed politics to interfere in the game of football, and it's already bad. Just like Kennedy had reported the other day, we got a report that a Somalia referee, that was denied entrance, that has been duly certified by FIFA, to be in the World Cup, was denied entrance
with no reason.
Was denied entrance, and in that case, is what is supposed to be. Is FIFA not supposed to stand up and say no, this cannot be?
It's even trendy.
The most funny
FIFA don't just pick a country to host. Most of the time, those countries, they lobby for it. So if they are lobbying to be the host country for a tournament, now you are not supposed to do anything that will interfere with my own regulations.
Funny enough, one thing I saw that was very funny. Now say they questioned the man for over 10 hours.
Yes, like it was mine for what? Do you know? I don't want to say like this is.
I was like, I don't question her for 10 hours. Allow me enter now. Like that's it, because how can you hold a man
very mind blowing?
You are putting him through questioning sessions for like 5 hours. That's even way too much. You don't reach to let him enter. Come do 10 hours. And I think from what he was saying, it was like saying 11 hours. Like if you round up everything, he spent close to 11 hours under questioning. So you now look at it. it's very bad that at this point the image that they portray now, like, now because of the country, where the man was already saying it with a lot of disappointment that he feels it's because of his country. That's why this thing a personal bias now, all those kind of things, and it's very sad because this is football, for goodness sake. This is not no be hate game. You get
Mm-hmm.
football is the only sport. Shall I say the only sport is like I can't count up to 5 things in this world that unite men as football does. Like I can't. Not even not even three. No, five is too much. Football is something that is one sport that stands out as a unifier of men, whether you from white or black or
Everything,
any
Exactly.
everything.
whether you
Now,
from sky, whether
now
anywhere you are from.
imagine, sometimes I feel that most of the issues that we record, conflicts, interstate conflicts that we record, most of the times, it could be, the little things that you look down on could be the way of settling those issues. Now, imagine in this year's World Cup now, we already know that Iran are having a long time conflict with Israel. And imagine now, maybe, probably in the course of the fixture, we have a competition, or we have a fixtures, Iran versus Israel in the World Cup.
That was how
Now,
Drogba was
imagine
able to settle a conflict in
imagine
African
now,
Cup of Nations.
imagine now the players on the pitch now,
Yeah.
coming out now to use that game now, to preach or to call for unity, that this war should be over. Imagine both teams from both countries, using that as a campaign, to call for peace between both countries. Already that is actually a way of calling for peace and trying to sort out the long term conflict between these two countries.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
when we do not give room for peace, we keep on because of the issues. It's not helping at all. And trust me, if at the end of the day Iran do not participate in this World Cup or anything happens, because already from the look of things, if you do not give if you not give these guys a good floor for them to participate in the game, and maybe possibly already, even if we know say they for no reach finals, or maybe them they know, even if they for no reach finals now, and maybe you come add now to their pains now, they feel come at the end of the concert saying that because of the way they were treated, that was why they could not get to the finals, because they were because of the way they were treated by the US. That's why they left the tournament so early, which ordinary that is even not the case. So I feel that these guys, at the end of the day, nobody say it's the players that are coming to play, and of course as well as the fans. So the US already, we know that we call them war power, right? So we believe that they have all the security architecture, they have everything in place, to make sure that they tackle everything. And in
Exactly.
fact, before you even say you want to host World Cup, before you say we want to host World Cup, they must have been every like they have carried out every survey and make sure, and they know that this country is safe for the for the tournament. There is nothing, and we know for sure that if US say they want to host this tournament, they must make sure say they put every architecture in place to make sure that the safety of all the teams and all the countries that come is actually protected. But in a situation whereby you decide to put some teams or some country on the spotlight, and state some reasons, it calls for segregation, and shows that you still have something against those countries, and it's not beautiful, it's not nice at all, be it African country or not African country, any country at all. But as long as that there's that segregation, that's a proof of disunity, then it doesn't make sense.
You see, that is why there was this how do I even put it? There was this former NFF president one time in 2019. This man said something. He said that football worldwide is a European business. And looking at it, Nana way I they understand, or Nana way will I say I want to agree with what he's saying, that football is a European business. Because if you check it, in a very long time, this is the first time we are hosting the World Cup outside the shore of the European body board, and outside the shore of African board, or outside the shore of the Asian board. Now, the World Cup now is hosted in US, and the politics there is arising day by day. I still go back to use Qatar as an example. Now, people need to know that football is often described as the world universal language. It is one sport that can transcend race, religion, nationality, and politics. At least FIFA want us to believe, they want us to believe something, and which is, the with the look of things, the 2026 FIFA World Cup kicks off in USA, and the troubling question is arising: can football really unite the world when politics decide who gets to participate? Actually, that's the question. Because right now, this referee in the person of Omar Abdul Atan, an African referee, and even not just an African, an award-winning referee, and the first Somalian ever selected to officiate at the World Cup, was denied entry in the United States and subsequently removed from the tournament. And FIFA will no longer you will no longer participate despite having been selected. And I keep asking myself a question: what is really going on? Then talk about let's go to the Iran side. Just like Cataly said, the war is between Iran and Israel. USA is just helping. Now, if they wanted to make everything look neutral, you are denying Iranian citizens from coming into US to participate in the World Cup. Why not deny Israel citizens the same thing? Make we don't say now 50-50. It's very, very obvious because they are taking sides, and this thing now politics is playing out.
That's why I just said that it's just high time that we just tell ourselves the truth that this thing that they talk say football and politics, they don't get relationship. You get relationship because this is just see what you
Now, they determine who go come watch the World Cup.
Waiting US they do is not just, it's not like they get trust be fear say they fear say maybe Iranians will
They have the structure, they have the facility, they have everything it takes to,
that's not their problem,
to hold national security throughout.
That's not their problem. That's not their problem. The thing is say once you one person know they in terms, una know they in terms,
and it's affecting the whole world.
Once person know they in terms with like once as two of them know they in good terms.
Yes.
Is there's nothing you will bring on board that you are trying to like use it as maybe cover. Say make they just do like say them they in terms for the meantime.
That one day.
So that's just the reality on ground, and maybe I also will blame FIFA because if you're FIFA actually they are the governing body for the football.
Yes.
You don't see say na so this thing dey. It's for you to come out, maybe sit with the both parties, maybe the football federation, and say, okay, this thing, see as we go do am, see as we go do am. You make it straight, make it plain that okay, this country, Iran, as they come, okay, this is what they will have, this is what they will have, this is what they will have. You will not restrict them. Okay, we all know that okay, it's for sure.
And this, before you cross the border, sure definitely they go search you.
We go make sure say this thing no affect you. You
yes.
Get. And if you look at it, since this thing began, FIFA have not even said anything.
They never come. That's the thing that,
like, I mean, there's
a monopoly control in the FIFA body by the US government against this whole thing.
Something that is like, you know, so you get the kind of person go talk now, you go no say say of a truth, these guys are actually not like trying to side anybody.
Yes.
What FIFA is trying to do, it's not like FIFA are siding anybody, but that silence is as if they are siding somebody.
Exactly.
Do you understand?
Exactly.
So I'm urging FIFA to just speak up. You understand? It's not hard. They should just speak up so that Iranians will not be robbed of the World Cup. This thing comes once in every 4 years.
Yeah,
so
of course.
Maybe they just do something.
And another thing is that I don't know if they didn't make their survey very, very well. I didn't know if they didn't make their survey. One time in Europe, there was a tournament Chelsea was playing. Kante was not allowed to play that tournament in that country because he had he had a visa ban in that country. I've forgotten that country, but at least 2 players were banned from going to that country to watch that match, to play the game. Now, I think they tried to resolve it, and at the end of the day, they were able to resolve it. It was only one player that was able to gain entrance. Then he participated in the return leg. Now, let's look at this World Cup in US. First of all, the first way FIFA for do be say, make them check before we carry this thing go US. Make we check countries where get FIFA ban for US. Where be say even if US agree to host World Cup, hope say this no go be issue for them. They didn't ask the proper question. Say hope say if we host this thing for your country, it no go be issue. Now this
one Kenneth, Sir Kennedy, sorry.
Okay, no problem.
I don't notice something like this thing is even beyond Iran.
And there is a race.
It's beyond Iran, US, something, Israel. It's beyond all of them. US as a nation, they have policies that they came up with, like not like now, but I think from late last year or so, I mean mid last year,
it
they
was
started coming up with policy. They realized that in their nation they have too many immigrants and all that.
yes.
So they were trying to cut down, like as a nation, and those policies don't, they affect like how this World Cup save like they go, because imagine even the visa tweaks that the president was doing and all that, in a way to make their country great again,
Yes.
trying to build their country again. It had side effect on the World Cup. So this thing just be like a two-way thing. Why with their fair World Cup one side, you will also see say, okay, they try to do so make their nation follow go forward. But whatever the case is, I just hope that this thing does not spoil the fun of the game, because
it not be say it will not spoil. It has already spoiled the fun of the game, because check what is going on. Like somehow maybe even happy say, what would have happened if Nigeria qualified for this World Cup?
If Nigeria qualifies for the World Cup,
what would have happened?
Do you know what? I'm telling you for truth that the USA government will be happy
if Nigeria qualifies.
Of course.
For me, right now,
I'm not saying they will come out and smile. They will be happy, because when I say they will be happy, it's like figurative, because they will make a whole lot. They will be their companies.
Yes.
Their nation. Come on, Nigeria. We are over 230 million.
I understand what you're saying.
So they will make. And they will be very happy.
Yes, and you know that speaking from a political side, FIFA would have not even considered hosting the World Cup in the US, because USA is like an enemy to so many countries. Let's tell ourselves the truth. So many countries, especially in Europe, USA is an enemy to so many countries in Europe.
I don't talk that.
No. That one no be waiting that they hide. No be waiting that, because if you check it now, most countries now have some restriction. Iran has some. If you check deeper, there are some countries that even have more restriction more than Iran, that are not going to that their countries participate in the World Cup. But due to this, but I think prior to this World Cup, they would have given an exemption that, as these countries, as you guys are coming to the World Cup, they would have reduced the visa restriction, and tell them that after the World Cup, you have 1 week to leave. You understand? Or 2 weeks to leave prior to the World Cup. If you check most of the Iranian guys now, I will tell you for a free that the only time we are going to record highest attendance during this World Cup is either when the match falls in either Mexico or Canada.
See, the US, the one thing I can just appeal is that make the government just see a way of
resolving the issue.
Of
course.
So that the Iranians go just enjoy
the World Cup. Yes.
Why one of the I'm actually looking beyond. Forget says the Sarge go deal.
Yes.
There is why USA is doing this. See, come on. If you even check how many times the president of the United States have been been threatened under assassination.
Yeah, we get that. We get that.
Say you get, like, aside the things where they up, you get things where they under the pot where then they try like.
But my own is that since this thing was going on, I think they would not even consider saying US continue hosting this, or most of the matches no go even happen for US. That is what they would have done, because it has brought a lot of restriction.
From what I think, was it maybe the last time I heard something related to something official related to the playing matches where Iran play. The reports were like Iran are going to play most of their matches in Mexico and Canada. So as it did now like this, I don't know how far that will still work. I don't know how far, because FIFA never come talk again on this matter as it be now like this. But as it done the hot, I just believe say with the way media done they push them now, they done the trend also. Say FIFA will just see a way of coming out to ease these tensions, because you know good say they go into World Cup with game of fun, but as there are a lot of rival, you go
to watch match, they look back. Yes.
So that people will feel safe. Then besides, there are other things they can also look into, because from this World Cup many concerns don't come out. I saw a report that the Three Lions of England, they placed their training they saw venomous. Was it 3 lions now? They suffered earthquake.
Yeah.
That region. The other day, a country said they were attacked by, was it the Switzerland national team? They were attacked by venomous snakes. Like you get some kind of things when they also need to.
Where they play, yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll go small break. When we come back, so now see the World Cup, 2 days to go, and the World Cup is still going on, and the World Cup preparation is still going on. We'll go open the phone line when we come and make you see your take on waiting they happen with this whole World Cup. No go anywhere. Now, 6 Sports Unical Radio 103.5. Now, Sakineda and Atana here with you. We will come back.